Standardized testing in this country is a scam, where private companies exploit students and makes them think their lives depend on answering questions which have no real-life application. This leads students to stress.
You screwed me! You got me a low score on purpose. Do you realize that was my only chance?
Violence. Murder. More murder.
Police!
And saying really uncomfortable things to your girlfriend and her best friend.
I'm not doing anything until you two sexy badasses tell me exactly what you're up to.
So the question is, what can be done to get a good score? I know what you're thinking. Blackmail a young woman who looks like Taylor Swift if the Illuminati didn't get to her. Punch her friend. And go on a crime spree.
Miss Marshall, we have a warrant for your daughter's arrest.
What else are you gonna do? Study? All of this will be covered in my deep dive and breakdown of the 2013 Lifetime movie, The Cheating Pact. I'm comedian Dan Donohue, and this is worth the watch.
My name is Heather. I'm 17 years old, and I'm under arrest for the murder of my best friend.
Quickly up top, I'm not in my usual studio. I'm on the road doing stand-up comedy in Chicago. Soon I will be traveling to illustrious cities like Pittsburgh, Beverly, Massachusetts, and Plano, Texas. You can find a link to tickets in the description to this video. But anyway, let's get into The Cheating Pact because this was one of the most entertaining movies I've ever seen. It was written and directed by Doug Campbell. He also wrote and directed Stalked by My Doctor, and my breakdown of that movie was the most popular video I've ever done. This movie is about a pack of young students who coerce an intelligent student to take the SATs for them. They don't call it the SATs, they give it some other weird acronym, but it's the SATs. And this lie snowballs and builds into like 8 different felonies. It's awesome. It really made me glad I was in special ed when I was in elementary school and high school. Special ed is when you're so bad at taking standardized tests, teachers say, let's get you away from the other students. We don't know if this is contagious or something. So I don't know how stressful the SATs were for you because when I took the SATs, because of my learning disability, I got unlimited time. It's like I was allowed to cheat due to my dysfunctional frontal lobe. Thanks again, dysfunctional frontal lobe. I always say it's better to have a brain that works half the time than to have a... But I'm sure standardized testing was very stressful for you. I call you normies. And it was very stressful for the students in the Cheating Pact. Before we start this breakdown, I want you to keep one thing in mind. The attempted theme of this movie is standardized testing puts too much stress on students. But here's what this movie actually is. The story of a group of students that would rather commit manslaughter than study for even a second. This story starts on our protagonist, Heather.
I'm so dreading this test.
Don't sweat it.
She's really stressed about the SATs because her principal tells her she should be.
And I know you're anxious to get in your prep time with Miss Walters.
The principal looks a lot like a lawyer who would have a lot of billboards in a mid-sized city. He looks like he could get you so much money if you broke your arm in a Waffle House. Heather's friends with this girl, Kylie. Kylie is supposed to be your standard mean girl. But due to some of the bluntest writing I have ever seen, Kylie is just a monster.
What about you, Meredith? You gonna go to the dance? Have you ever even been on a date before?
Like a dictator serial killer level monster. And it really kind of throws this whole movie off in this really funny way. Like, watch this interaction with her and our third main character, Meredith.
Got any photos of your boyfriend in here? Oh, yep, here we go. Look at this stud muffin. Where'd you find him? The homeless shelter?
Kylie,
He's my little brother.
It's such a tough pill to swallow for the rest of the movie. Because if Kylie was a little mean, we would all go, okay, well, we've all had friends who get a little out of hand. But it's clear Kylie has, like, an emotional disorder. When women are mean to each other, it's generally in a backhanded, subtle, slow burn type way.
Wait, like, what do you like to do and stuff? Like, why? Like, I feel like you just don't talk to anybody ever.
But Kylie's just like, no one would ever date you, right? Your disabled brother looks homeless. And the person we're supposed to identify with just sits there? I mean, listen to what Heather says in response to this.
it's kind of mean.
That was kind of mean? Put some shoulder into it, Heather! Say, hey Kylie, it's 8:30 a.m., maybe chill with the verbal assault. So they all take the test and Meredith finishes first. This is supposed to show that she's smart, but I would always finish tests first, and it was not because I was smart. It was because I was stupid and very confident. I would finish tests like, and that's why it was bad when Christopher Columbus conquered Australia. All right, I'm done with my biology exam. And the girls get stressed out because, whoops, their scores are bad.
What did you get?
You first.
And they need to tell their parents, and this is extra bad for Heather because Heather needs a scholarship.
What'd you get?
1760.
Not bad.
No, it's bad. I will not be getting a scholarship with that score.
Yeah.
Let's back it up. This takes place in Los Angeles, and this is where Heather lives.
I know, but I paid her health insurance since you moved out.
You might not know this, but if you have a place like this in Los Angeles, you do not need a scholarship. If you live in a house like this in Los Angeles, you are a weapons dealer and you need to go to federal prison. If you have a house like this in Los Angeles, you have enough money to buy a social media platform and ruin it. If you live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 children and a husband and an iron lung in Los Angeles, you are middle class. And Kylie lives in an even nicer house?
What happened?
I did the best I could, Mom.
1607 out of 2400? Your best? I can't accept that.
And her mom is still stressed out? Kylie, how did you do so bad on this test? It's not like you can just buy your way into college. Oh wait, you can? You can totally do that? Kylie, disregard everything I said. So anyway, Kylie gets the idea to cheat. Heather doesn't want to, but Kylie convinces her.
I'm not doing it, period.
You write the best short stories, Heather. Does CT have a section for that?
Okay, now I officially call BS on this movie. No one has ever read their friend's short stories. Put your bank account information in the middle of a short story and give it to every one of your friends and your money is gonna be fine. But anyway, Heather goes to Meredith and asks, can you take the test for me?
Did you actually get a 2320?
Do you really care?
That's amazing.
What's going on? Kylie break up with you or she give you the day off?
Why the attitude?
And I'm sorry, what an awful person. You sat there while your best friend called her disabled brother homeless and said she could never get a date. And you have the audacity to go, why are you being mean to me? I mean, just listen to the entitlement.
I want to go to Whitendale, but they're not going to take me. Not with my score. You can retake it. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help.
It helps if you study, dumbass. But Meredith has a hard life. Her brother needs physical therapy.
She just told me she won't be able to come by anymore. Medical doesn't cover his physical therapy. I gotta pay out of pocket, and I'm just not making that much right now.
They really try to illustrate the point that they don't have a lot of money by having her brother hobble around.
About time you got here.
Which, listen, I understand it's hard times, but Meredith also has a really nice house in Los Angeles.
So, if the nurse can't come by for his physical therapy, he's not gonna...
Yeah, I know. His condition will get worse.
We couldn't splurge for crutches. Sell your home in LA, move to a mansion in Indiana, and you'll have enough money to get your son a hoverboard, sir. Meredith decides to help Heather so she can give the money to her brother. And Heather gets a fake student ID from Kylie's boyfriend, who is the captain of the football team and also can make perfect fake IDs.
I was able to download Meredith's yearbook photo. What I don't understand is why you want me to make her a driver's license so she can go clubbing with you guys?
Honestly, dream guy. This is the perfect example when the people producing a movie don't want to add another character. So they just kind of go, all right, yeah, sure, the football guy makes the fake IDs. Whatever, let's get this rolling. We've got 18 movies to shoot this month. Let's make the captain of the football team Heather's mom. Come on, let's pump this out. So they get the fake ID. Meredith takes the test. And Meredith tries her hardest on the test, which, pretty bad idea. We can't tell her to sandbag it a little bit, folks. Don't you think it'll look a little suspicious when your score jumps 10,000 points while you are actively telling the staff of the school, I am not studying for this?
Am I going to see you after school today?
For what?
For tutoring.
I kind of want to do that by myself now.
Well, are you sure?
No, thank you.
But everyone's grateful for Meredith, and now she's the belle of the ball. She goes to a high school party that looks like an after-work party at a tech company.
And this is the night.
There was something about the 2010s where companies were just like, let's just put a hoodie on everything. Guys who don't have girlfriends to dress them yet will love it. Anyway, Kylie tries to get Meredith to take the test for her.
Heather told me what you did for her today.
She did?
Yeah, but don't worry. I'm not gonna tell anyone. I think it's kind of cool. You know, I actually could use a higher score myself.
But she's made a huge misstep here. See, she's talking to Meredith like Meredith is still wearing glasses. Meredith isn't wearing glasses anymore. There is one rule in movies that are geared towards high schoolers. If someone takes their glasses off, their lives change dramatically. And they are now completely confident and powerful. The anti-glasses sentiment in these movies needs to be studied. This is such a weird form of body dysmorphia to give kids who wear glasses. They're just going, listen, it's important to tell kids that they're gonna need to decide between being hot and having the ability to see. So Heather says no to Kylie, but agrees to take Kylie's boyfriend's test.
I'm taking the test for someone else.
Who?
Your boyfriend.
Now you might be asking, how can a girl take a test for a boy who has a boy's name? Well, luckily Kylie's boyfriend's name is Jordan. And Jordan is a name that can be both a man's name and a woman's name. What are those names called?
I can't believe this. How is she even gonna take the test for you? You're a guy.
Transgender name, baby.
No, that's not the term. That's not the term at all. This is an LA high school. They would know the difference between unisex and transgender. This is going to keep happening in movies, by the way, where writers are less informed about the subjects of gender and sexuality than the high schoolers they're writing for. Mom, Dad, I'm non-binary. That means I hook up with guys and girls. And Heather's nerdy friend sees her take the test for him.
Scott, okay, look, you don't understand.
And threatens to tell.
Understand that I work my ass off. And now some subhuman lowlife like Jordan, who never studies, might end up going to the same college as me.
Because he just can't let a Chad win in this world. And Kylie's boyfriend immediately chases this guy down and punches him as hard as he can in the face.
You shut your mouth, or you're dead.
This guy is high on the social ladder, commits felony, and responds to scandals by violently silencing those who speak out against him. Forget football, this guy should be in politics. And there's a teacher who kind of gets wind that these kids are cheating.
Well, I just saw your latest score for the college entrance test. You had a 700-point jump since you first took it back in May.
And her suspicions are driven into overdrive when this kid comes into school with the biggest black eye I have ever seen.
What happened?
Fell off my bike.
I am a huge MMA fan and I have never seen a black eye that bad. Add Mike Tyson level punching ability to this guy's resume and it is so sad that he is dating that blonde loser. This teacher is also really suspicious because of something that we already know from watching this movie. These kids are just so stupid.
Is it possible that they just performed well on the test?
Jordan Coleman? In the top 1 percentile?
And she talks to the principal about her suspicions. Now, you might be running into a problem that I've run into with Lifetime movies. I cannot really tell the lead women apart from each other. I mean, look at these pictures of the 3 main women in this movie. This is because Lifetime almost exclusively casts very good-looking 40 to 50-year-olds. This is so when your mom is 3 bottles of wine deep, she can look up at the TV and go, "Oh, wow, I should get plastic surgery." Anyway, Kylie resorts to blackmailing Meredith to take the test for her.
What if I tell the school what you did?
You wouldn't do that because your boyfriend and Heather would get in trouble.
Not as much trouble as you.
It's so funny, there are so many scenes where Kylie is so stressed to do well on this test. And there is never a single mention of, maybe we should just study. She's assisted in committing 10 felonies, and her solution to trying to do better on the test is commit more felonies. What is she gonna do if she gets into a good college? Is she just gonna be looking around Princeton like, okay, where is a smart kid with a paraplegic brother? So anyway, Meredith chews out Heather for having an evil friend.
She blackmailed me into taking her college entrance test. Said if I didn't, she'd report me to the police.
She said that?
I didn't know.
They get into what I like to call a Lifetime movie fight.
I don't want to hurt you.
A Lifetime movie fight is where two characters have to fight, but the director and producer need to avoid a lawsuit because they are on such a shoestring budget. If anyone gets hurt during this movie, it's all going under. And Meredith does take the test for Kylie, but intentionally messes up. So this is where the movie kicks into high gear. Kylie goes to confront Meredith at her house. Meredith threatens to call the police.
That's it, I'm calling the cops.
Meredith!
Kylie tries taking the phone away from Meredith.
Give me the phone!
And Kylie flings Meredith off the stairs to her death.
911.
Do you know how strong you would have to be to fling someone like that? Doesn't that feel like the beginning of a superhero movie? Kylie should be thinking, damn, I'm the one who should have been playing football. I could have gotten a scholarship. This is where you would think the movie would end, but no, we have 30 more minutes. 30 minutes where three characters who have done nothing but convince us they are terrible people try to avoid jail time. The boyfriend committed assault bordering on attempted murder. Kylie actually murdered someone. And Heather stood around while it was all happening going, but what if this is bad? Luckily, the two detectives who come to investigate this suck at their job.
Where were you yesterday afternoon?
I was at my girlfriend Kylie's house.
Doing what?
They do all their questioning on site where they find people. They're like, let's take you down to the station. Oh wait, we don't have a station? Let's stay right here. So Kylie starts freaking out when Heather and her boyfriend try to convince her to turn herself in. So she grabs a knife and starts threatening them.
You're not going to change your statement! Oh my god.
Put that down. Come on.
No!
Heather doesn't deserve to go to jail, Kylie.
Neither do I!
You all deserve to be in jail. This movie is actually a really fascinating look into the world of privilege. Heather thinks she deserves to go to a good school without studying. The parents think their kids deserve scholarships even though they raised them terribly. And Kylie thinks she deserves to be free while brandishing a deadly weapon. Here we have maybe the funniest moment in the movie, where the boyfriend is like, Kylie, you don't even like school. And she's like, oh, maybe I don't.
I just wanted to get into a good school, that's all.
Kylie, you don't even like school.
Wait, I don't like school, and I'm rich, and I'm gonna be fine no matter what. And I'm hot, and I can just go on vacation whenever I want. And I'll marry a guy who, like, sells poison to third world countries and makes $100 billion a year. This is all silly. Anyway, that doesn't last long, and she stabs her boyfriend.
Let me go!
And the stabbing gets blamed on Heather.
Heather Marshall, you're under arrest for the murder of Meredith Porter.
It's not what it looks like.
So Heather's in a really tough position here. Everyone thinks she murdered Meredith, and now she's getting pinned with another murder. But lucky for her, she has something coming to her rescue that in Lifetime movies are more powerful than the police, more powerful than the government, and more powerful than God, him, or herself. A determined mother.
One more step. You're full.
Jordan. Oh my God.
Heather's mom shows up to the house and runs through an active crime scene.
All right, Miss Marshall, you need to come with me.
Mom! Heather!
Mom, I didn't do it.
Are you okay?
And the cops are just like, all right, let's let this play out. And we get a nice little mom v. mom battle between Heather and Kylie's mom.
Why do you let her speak for herself?
Can you get this woman out of my house, please?
Kylie admits to her crime and is finally taken away.
It's all my fault. All of it.
And Heather is also taken away and put in prison for a long, long time to think about what she's done. No, I'm just kidding. Remember, we're supposed to be rooting for Heather. Heather shows up to Meredith's dad's house, who just lost his daughter in big part due to Heather's inability to stick up for herself.
Hi.
I came to say I'm sorry about everything. He's inviting us in for lunch.
So it's all good now. Yeah, that was messed up when he pretty much caused the death of my daughter. Say, you want a Reuben? What a happy ending. So what are the takeaways from this movie? I think this was supposed to be a big statement about how bad standardized testing is, which I agree with. But this movie is a bigger statement about how laziness can cause a real unraveling of your entire life. These characters ruined a man's life who is already going through an extremely tough time just because they couldn't spend 5 minutes studying. But just remember, even if you do ruin someone's life, all you have to do is show up to their doorstep and sheepishly say, "I'm sorry." And then all you gotta worry about is having enough room for some big sandwiches. Let me know in the comments what video I should do next. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you so much. I'm Dan Donohue. This is worth a watch, and as always, have a good one.